Have you ever wanted to hear about a school that was hidden from the world, where only the most brilliant young minds studied? Imagine a secret place in the 1800s where children with extraordinary intelligence were trained to become the greatest inventors, thinkers, and leaders of their time. What if the secrets of that school could change how we see education today? Stay with us as we uncover the mysterious story of the secret school of the genius children in the 1800s. In the 1800s, the world was very different. There were no computers, no modern cars, and no fast communication. Life was slower, but change was beginning. This was the time of the Industrial Revolution, where machines, factories, and new ideas were transforming society. During this period, many schools focused only on basic reading, writing, and arithmetic. But somewhere in Europe, a very unusual school existed. It was not known to everyone, it was not open to the public. Only a few selected children could enter. This school was created for one purpose: to train children who showed signs of exceptional intelligence. These were children who could solve complex problems at a young age, who understand mathematics beyond their years, who could remember everything they read, and who often felt different from other kids their age. The school's location was kept secret. Only the parents and the chosen students knew where it was. It was said to be in a quiet countryside surrounded by forests and hills, far from cities and noise. The founders believed that genius children needed peace and nature to grow their minds freely. What made this school different was its teaching style. While other schools at that time used strict discipline, punishments, and memorization, this sacred school encouraged curiosity and creativity. Students were not forced to follow the same routine. They were allowed to ask questions, explore their ideas, and even disagree with their teachers. The teachers themselves were special. They were scientists, philosophers, and inventors who believed in the power of young minds. They saw potential in children that most of society ignored. Back then, many people thought children should simply obey, learn basic skills, and work in factories or farms. But this school believed that some children had the power to change the future if they were taught in the right way. The subjects taught here were advanced for that era. Mathematics included early concepts of algebra and geometry. Science lessons involved experiments with electricity, chemistry, and even early studies of flight. History was not just about kings and wars, it was about how ideas shaped the world. Change and language classes focused on Latin, French, and sometimes ancient Greek because the founders believed learning multiple languages made the brain sharper. But the most unusual part of the school was something called the hour of free thought. Every day, students had no hour to think, create, or build whatever they wanted. Some wrote stories, some designed machines, and others painted or drew maps of imaginary cities. There was no punishment for mistakes. In fact, mistakes were celebrated because they showed that students were trying new things. One famous student from this school was Romo Red, who have designed a flying machine long before airplanes became real. Another created an early vision of a communication device similar to a telephone. Many of these students grew up to become inventors, doctors, and writers who influenced the 19th century. However, because the school was sacred, their connection to it was really written in history books. Some believe this was because the founders wanted to protect the children from the pressures of fame. Others think the school was kept sacred because it had connections to powerful figures who wanted to use the knowledge for their own purposes. The selection process of students was mysterious. There were no public advertisements. Parents who noticed their child had unusual talents like solving puzzles quickly, remembering entire books, or asking deep questions about the world. Sometimes received a letter from someone representing the school. How these parents were chosen is still unknown. Some say it was through a network of scientists and explorers. Others say it was by secret recommendation. Inside, the school life was strict but inspiring. Students woke up early, ate simple food, and spent most of their time learning or creating. There were no loud games or sports like in regular schools. Instead, there were walks in the forest, evening discussions under candlelight, and lessons about observing nature closely. Discipline was gentle but firm. Teachers believed in guidance, not punishment. If a student misbehaved, they were asked to explain why they did it and how they would change their actions. This approach taught responsibility and self awareness. Interestingly, the school also taught something very rare for that time: emotional intelligence. Children were guided on how to express their feelings, how to work together, and how to respect difference. This was almost unheard of in the 1800s, where most schools only cared about obedience. The school lasted for several decades, quietly shaping some of the brightest minds of the century. But as the world moved into the late 1800s, with more governments taking control of education, sacred institutions like this became harder to maintain. There were also rumors of disagreements among the founders about how much of their discoveries should be shared with the public. By the early 1900s, the school had disappeared completely. Its buildings were either destroyed or turned into something else. Only letters, diaries, and a few hidden documents remain as evidence of its existence. Some historians believe that modern gifted schools and advanced learning programs were inspired by this very concept, even if they never openly admit it. Today, we can learn many lessons from this forgotten place. It shows us that when children are given freedom to think, encouragement to ask questions, and support for their unique talents, they can achieve amazing things. It also reminds us that not all geniuses are born in big cities or rich families. Sometimes they just need the bright environment to shine. Imagine if such a school existed today, open for every child with potential, regardless of where they come from. What kind of inventions, ideas, and discoveries would we see in the next generation? Thank you for joining us on this journey into the hidden past of the Sacred School of Genius Children in the 1800s. We hope this story opened your mind to the power of education and imagination. What do you think? Should schools today be more like these sacred schools? Let us know in your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. If you enjoyed learning something new, share it with your friends who love history and mysteries, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing untold stories from the past. Until next time, keep your curiosity alive and your mind open to the secrets of history.